Sports Chasers Podcast. Coming to you live and direct with your host and your moderator, Kevin L. Warren. This is a real sports podcast for real fans.
Hey,
I know there was a long delay. Excuse me.
what's the matter with you, man?
I don't know. What's up, everybody? What's going on, everybody? It's another edition of the Sports Chasers Podcast, the fourth and short NFL segment edition, week six. Just as season's flying by. Week 6, let's meet the crew. Before we meet the crew, though, make sure you like, click, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you also, while you liking and clicking and subscribing to the channel, you make sure you go to the podcast side, the Apple and Spotify side, and make sure you give us that 5-star review. Hold on, 5-star review, and also give us some comments so we can jack up the algorithm and make everybody hang out with us, man. So, like I said, we do the show here during football season, Sunday morning, Monday, sometimes morning, sometimes Monday evening, as we are today. Depends on life, and of course, our standalone Thursday show. With that said, let's meet the crew. D-Dub, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you at. How you doing, bro?
Good evening. What's up, man? Yeah, man. It's good evening. It's pretty dark outside right now, so welcome. Fourth and short. Pretty good weekend. That's okay weekend. Couple upsets. Let's get
Couple
it.
upsets. Yes, we'll talk about a couple upsets. Dan, good evening, sir. How are you? What's
Doing
happening,
good.
bro?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Good to see you, Mikey. Missed you there last week.
Uh-oh.
Don't do that.
What's up?
Mike Mills is with us. Mike, what's up, bro? Dan starting his nonsense already. 2 minutes and 25 seconds in.
Toxic.
Yeah, he on his bull. But greetings and salutations. Just woke up from a little nap. It's dark as hell outside. Scared me. I thought it was tomorrow.
Yeah,
Glad
it is.
Glad I woke up and I'm here. So let's get to it.
Well, we glad you're here, so you can go back to your nap. Thank you, my brother, for waking up for your nap. What I was gonna say? No, I'm not even gonna do it. Let's go into it, man. Let's go into it. Speaking of upsets tomorrow, the first game we'll talk about is the Eagles versus the Jets. The Eagles went 90 miles north of the turnpike to go visit the New York Jets. The Jets wound up beating the Eagles 20-14. By the numbers, the Jets defense was definitely in its bag yesterday. Made Jalen Hurts throw 3 interceptions, made him look really bad yesterday. The Jets defense can and does ball. Shout out to them, Zach Wilson. He's 19 of 33, 186 yards. Breece Hall was 12 of 39 on rushing attempts and yards. The Jets did just enough to win the game on yesterday. Let me see here. Rushing, Hurts was their leading rusher yesterday. As they have some injuries, the Eagles have some injuries on the offensive side of the ball. But shout out to the Jets. The Jets defense forcing those 4 turnovers. D-Dub, your thoughts on the Jets?
Yeah, that was a great game, man. Good defensive game.
Yes.
20-14. Jets played. The Jets defense was ball hawking. They was doing their thing on defense. They played well. I think what happened in Philadelphia, man. Jalen Hurts lost that game for them because Philly's defense was just as good.
Yep.
Yesterday. So, Jalen Hurts did not do the team any favors with 3 interceptions and throwing the ball. One was he got pressured by the Jets defense and his arm got tipped or hit as he was throwing. And he was he got hurried and rushed and he got sacked twice for 12 yards. So I think I would put this game on Jalen Hurts himself. He did not play well. 28 of 45, 280, 1 TD. But Zach Wilson of the Jets, he did. He was pedestrian, but he did what he serviced. Yeah, absolutely. I was some of the plays he made yesterday. He made some plays. I was like, okay, you can play if you could just put it all together. But even with the subpar Jets running game, I mean, Breece Hall, 12 carries, 39 yards. He didn't really give them nothing. But shout outs to the Jets for grinding it out and finding a way to win.
Gotcha. Mike Mills, your thoughts on the Jets and the Eagles?
If the Jets want to win any games this season, this is how they're supposed to do it. Of course, you want some more out of your running game because Brees Hall has been providing more, but he's coming back from being injured. So it's going to look like that sometimes. And Dalvin Cook, I don't know why they gave him that money because he is looking washed.
Bro, 3 carries, 12 yards.
Every week. Every week he's looking more and more washed. But I'm not here to talk about Dalvin. The Jets, their defense looked amazing as they have all year. And the offense did just enough to win. So Aaron Rodgers is on the sideline throwing practice passes and walking and shit way quicker than he's supposed to be. So if they think he's coming back for the playoffs, then they want to make the playoffs, this is how you got to do it. Play defense, run the ball, do not turn over the ball. And it looked good. Yeah. So shout out to the Jets for not packing it in like they looked like a couple weeks ago. They looking better and better.
Yeah, gotcha. Thank you, Mike. Dan, your thoughts on the Jets and the Eagles?
Well, I kind of mixed emotions on this because I don't think Hurts was the reason they lost this game. I mean, he tried to make a play and he got hit when he was throwing it. That interception, that's a 50-50. That's kind of on the line, too, for not blocking. The other one, he hit the guy right in the freaking hands, and he tipped it right into the defensive lineman's arms. Really, the only one I can blame on him is the late one that really cost him.
Oh, yeah.
That being said,
go
ahead. The Jets could be a good team even with Zach Wilson. Because you can see when he has time to throw the football, he makes good decisions. He throws it to the right guy. He didn't turn the ball over. He took care of the ball. Garrett Wilson had a huge game. No, he didn't score a touchdown. He didn't break 100 yards. But, man, when they were backed up late, 6-yard line or whatever, and he threw that ball down the sideline to him, he made a great catch on the sideline. He made clutch catches when they needed it to get the first downs. But, the Jets defense, they played awesome. Like, they shut them out in the whole second half. The bigger question is Philly. They cannot get it done in the red zone. And that's finally caught up and bit them in the ass. Because this game early was all Philadelphia. Like, they should have been up 14-17, nothing.
Yes.
And they let the Jets hang around. They just let them hang around, and they made some adjustments at halftime, and they shut him down. Swift, he had 18 yards carrying. He had 8 for 40 receiving, and that one touchdown. I mean,
yeah, DeAndre Swift, where you at? Yo, 10 carries, 18 yards.
Well, that just tells you how stout the Jets defense is. I mean, they literally shut them down in the second half. But like I said, you give Zach Wilson time, I think he can be good. They're off of, like, every time their drive stalled, it's because somebody got free and sacked his ass.
Great.
They just got to clean that up.
Yeah, definitely. The angry one. What's up, bro? How are you? Good evening. How are you, sir?
Good evening, gentlemen. How y'all doing, man? Good to see y'all.
What's up, my guy?
What's up?
Chilling, man. Chilling.
We was just in the midst of the Jets and the Eagles upsetting the Eagles yesterday. Your thoughts?
Trash. I'm kind of glad that it happened. These Eagles, and I guess we'll talk about that other NFC team here in a minute. It was time for them to kind of look forward to the following week and overlook their current opponents. And this is what happens when you play down to their level of play, their talent pool, so to speak. So the Jets, we all know that the Jets have a very, very good defense. And I don't care who you are, you got to come to play to beat them. The Jets, let's just face it, the offense is what's holding them back. So they did enough yesterday, and man, we say this every week. Why is Jalen Hurts throwing for 45 times when you're supposed to have this running attack? So, man, I don't know if these coaches are smarter than what they are or they're dumber than what they are. I don't know. It's not for me to say, but it's one or the other. And it didn't pan out for them, man. Good win for the Jets, bad loss for the Eagles.
Yeah, we say it every week on the show. Why are you not putting these quarterbacks in position to win the game? And you're constantly having them throw 40, 45. But what do we know?
Yeah.
Um, you know what I'm saying? I play high school football, man, but I do know if you throw the ball a lot of times, that gives the other team the opportunity to do what? To scheme and to do other things and to make sure that they could they can be opportunistic, which the Jets were yesterday. And I think it was D or no, Dan alluded to. I got in trouble for that last word, not in trouble, but that last pick that Hurts threw, that was a bad, bad, bad pick, man. But he wasn't the only Alabama quarterback that played bad yesterday, but we won't talk about the team. Well, that wasn't even on the rundown. So let me go down to the next team. The next game, the San Francisco 49ers and the Cleveland Browns hooked up yesterday in the game in Cleveland. The Browns won the game 19-17. The Browns escaped defeat with the Niners lining up for a field goal, pretty much a chip shot. I think it was like 30 something yards,
41.
41 yards, excuse me, with 6 seconds left, giving the Browns the upset win 19-17 by the numbers. The Browns, and this game was funny to the fact, you hear a lot of I like Purdy. I like how he plays. I think their coach puts them in a good position to win. Of course, when you have McCaffrey and you have Debo Samuels and you have those other guys on the team, yes, absolutely, it should make you a little bit better or better. But let's go by the numbers. PJ Walker, who started in for injured, wink, wink. Deshaun Watson, he was 18 of 34, 192 yards. He threw 2 interceptions. For the replacement for I can't think of his name right now, escapes me, but y'all know I'm talking about. The replacement for he was 17 on 84 attempts. Kareem Hunt is back, 12 attempts, 47 yards rushing. On the other side, Purdy was 12 of 27, 125 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. McCaffrey was 11 attempts, 42 yards. He got injured on yesterday. His longest was 27. And then you had Mason, who rushed for 5 attempts, 27 yards. I'll give it to Mikey. Your thoughts on the Browns, who in your conference, in your division. What do you think about the Browns on yesterday?
This game is less about the Browns and more about the Niners playing like dirt. So the Niners did what we just talked about the Eagles doing, playing down to their competition, and they should have won this game because this is the same Cleveland team that my Ravens, who have been playing sloppy all year, beat the hell out of with the same situation. No quarterback, and it's just a defense out there. So the Niners should have won this game. Yeah, a couple guys got knocked out, but it's football. That's what happens. So they should have won this game. Should have came down to a 41-yard field goal. And then the kicker, you got one job. That's what you're supposed to do. Hit field goals, win a game. And it wasn't like you was 60 yards out. You was 55. 41 is well within range. So the kicker should have hit that field goal, and they should have been talking about the last undefeated team left. But here we are talking about the Browns. And
little wind and rain yesterday, Mike. You ain't gonna get a kick.
It wasn't that much wind and rain. It was windy and raining when y'all lost to the Cowboys. That was drizzle. I don't want to hear it.
That's a fact.
I don't want to hear it. So shout out to Cleveland for getting the win, getting out of there. But this is what I was afraid of when my team lost those 2 games we shouldn't have lost. And we'll talk about them later.
Gotcha. Dan, your team and your division, the Browns and the Niners. Go ahead.
Hey, looks like the blind squirrel found a nut yesterday. I don't know how the hell Cleveland won this game. Like, what, San Fran, same thing as the Eagles. They put points on the board the first 2, in the first quarter, whatever. So they were up 10-0. And then the wheels fell off. And PJ Walker, 2 interceptions. The only couple guys, Ford kind of went off, and Amari Cooper had a big game, but he only caught 4 passes. But they were timely.
Yeah, that one big catch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, and Purdy, he kind of had an off day, but, so that is the number 1 ranked defense, I guess, in football right now. So it's not a cakewalk. You got to understand what you're walking into. But with all the, even if McCaffrey goes down and Samuel goes down, you still have other weapons. You still have Kittles. You still have Ayuk. You still have McLeod. I mean, this team's so deep, and they got a good defense too. I mean, literally, it was a field goal fest for Cleveland. That's all they were doing, was kicking field goals. But that was keeping them hanging around. And I wish DA was here because I want to know if he's got Robbie Gold on speed dial. Because this poor guy, he had a rough day, man. 1 of 3. He makes one of those, they win.
They win the game. Also, I think I talked to DA yesterday about the roughing call back then when it was 3rd and 10 that gave Cleveland, some extra life. But hey, with that said, you can't leave it in the officials' hands. Just go out there and just win, beat it. Angry, what you got on this game before we move along?
Again, I picked San Fran to win this conference, but I'm glad that they lost. Why is that? I'll tell you why. I'm glad y'all asked. Yo, man, all this talk about Brock Purdy and how Purdy he is and how he's Joe Montana on some of these networks. Like, yo, man, calm down, man. Relax. Okay? So he had a bad game. Everybody can pump their brakes now. San Fran can go back to the drawing board, figure out what they did wrong. Seems like when there's a wet spot on the field that they play on, they have games like this. Last year versus Chicago, same thing happened. I mean, it was worse weather then, but I don't know what it is. But shout out to Cleveland. They came to play. Backup quarterback, doesn't matter, next man up. Yeah, Cleveland shouldn't have won this game, but their defense showed up time and time again.
Yes, agreed.
This game was not for any of these CFs, aka casual fans. You wouldn't have liked this game. A lot of hard hitting, a lot of jaw jabbing, and all this other stuff, man. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to say it's a bad loss for San Fran, but it was a good win for Cleveland. Very good win for Cleveland. It keeps them in the up and ups in that division. So we'll see what goes on.
Gotcha. D-Dub, real quick, your thoughts on this game? Oh, $5, bro. Just go ahead and just cash that to me. $5. We can't hear you. $5. No, we can't.
That's PayPal now. That's not even cash.
Yeah,
excuse
me.
PayPal.
Yeah. PayPal now. Yeah. Technical difficulty. He's trying to play off. Yeah. No. Huh? Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. I was saying I don't have nothing to say about him. San Francisco, it's an L, man. They took an L. They should have won this game. And they had a chance to win the game. And again, what we talk about, as Mike said, you got one job to do, and you missed it. You missed right. They should have won the game. So on to the next game, man. But shout outs to Cleveland. Cleveland got a good win, and please miss me with the PJ Walker. That's my quarterback, and y'all stop. PJ Walker looks scared to death for the second half out there, and he's a decent quarterback, but he's not gonna be your guy. Y'all better stop playing around acting like Deshaun Watson is not that good, or he's not. He may not be as good with the money that he got, but he's a good quarterback. So I'm gonna leave it like that.
But he has to play.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Cleared 2 weeks ago, still not playing.
Hey, man.
His shoulder hurt, man.
Yeah, he's on the table right now.
Mm-hmm. He sure is. Next
game.
Nasty, man.
Next game.
Toxic Dan is back in the building.
The Baltimore Ravens The Baltimore Ravens in Tennessee hooked up in London, England on yesterday for the last of the London series games. The Baltimore Ravens won that game 24-16. Baltimore was in control of this game, and the Titans kept hanging around until they eked out the victory. Let's read this from the AP. Lamar Jackson scrambled, evaded tackles, and made big throws when he needed to in his international debut. The dynamic Ravens quarterback got a glowing review from his coach after a 24-16 win over the Tennessee Titans. on Sunday at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Lamar Jackson played one of his most courageous games I've ever seen, says Coach John Harbaugh. Lamar Jackson is not afraid. I'll give it to Mike. Your thoughts? Do you agree with your coach?
Courageous.
Hell no, I don't agree with my coach. You won a game we supposed to win. He played okay. He threw for 223 yards. It ain't like he threw for 300. Like, stop it. I've seen him play better than this. He had an okay game. We won the game. It shouldn't have been that close. We're supposed to be undefeated. We keep playing down to the competition. We keep losing games we're not supposed to lose. So, courageous, I don't know about that. We got the win like we supposed to. And we supposed to be 6-0 with a 3-game lead. But, we like to lose games we're supposed to win. So now Cincinnati done crept back up. Dan over there choking and shit. I don't want to hear that. Like, we're supposed to be undefeated. I don't care about none of these wins because the losses outweigh them. Easy games. We're giving them away. We're supposed to be head and shoulders better than the rest of this division, especially the way they came out the gate swinging. They came out the gate drowning, everybody but us. And now, look, we're right there with them. So, good win. Keep it going. Keep the momentum going. These are not the Ravens that raised me. They stress me out. So, I'm just happy we got the win. Let's go back home and get another one.
I'll give it to Dan, then we'll move on to the next game for the sake of time.
This is Jekyll and Hyde right here, baby. Baltimore,
Word.
you don't know what you're getting. I mean, like you said, Lamar had a decent game. It looks like he ran a little bit more, which probably helped him out, which he could have done the prior week that normally kills us when we play them, but he didn't do it. Thank you. But they play good. At least Henry, for the Titans, he got off a little bit. 12 for 97 and a touchdown. But I don't know what's going on with Tennessee and their quarterback situation because ever since they drafted Malik Willis, Tannehill hasn't been the same Tannehill that he was before. I don't know what the deal is with that. But, a win's a win. Jekyll showed up here, for Baltimore this time. They were catching balls this time, And, they were working out Justin Tucker just to make sure in case later on in the season they need him. He was 6 for 6, and he's probably the best kicker in the league. So
Absolutely.
He's Mr. Automatic. It don't matter where on the field. He could kick from his own 20, I bet you.
Gotcha.
But it was a good game. Like I said, I didn't see a whole lot of this because it was that time of the day for me. So I caught very little of it and went to sleep. But Baltimore looked good out of the gate. That first possession going down the field. We'll see who shows up later in the season.
And our defense has been looking good compared to what we're supposed to, especially with the injuries at first. Even our corners are looking good. It's that damn offense. Like, I don't understand it. But see the him on there.
Well, the Ravens are 4-2, and I think Tennessee, if I went back there, 2-4.
2-4.
Yeah, let me go on and express this on to the next game we have on the tap. Seattle and Cincinnati hooked up a game in Cincinnati. Cincinnati wound up winning the game 17-13. Cincinnati, after their slow start, they're back to 3-3. By the numbers here, Joe Burrow was 24-35, 185 yards, 2 TDs threw the ball, one interception. Geno Smith, he threw the ball 41 times, 27 of 41, 323 yards, 0 TDs, 2 interceptions, especially one bad one where he shouldn't have threw that ball at. I don't know. The Bengals defense intercepted Geno Smith twice, and they also had twice stopped the Seahawks on 4th downs from inside the Cincinnati 10 in the last 2:08 of the game to preserve a win. So Cincinnati's defense, if you didn't get a chance to check them out, their defense is back. I'll give it to E. Your thoughts on the Bengals and the Seahawks?
This game played right into Cincinnati's hands. You want Geno to throw the ball as much as he has because it's more opportunities to take it away from him. Geno is in a good pocket when he throws no more than 30, 32 passes. This was way too much. I mean, Could have ran the ball more, but that's neither here nor there because I guess the NFL doesn't like running the ball. But shout out to Cincinnati. They play inspired football on defense. Time and time again, they had stops, they got turnovers. So that offense is still nowhere near what we've seen in past years, but they did enough to win the game. So, um, yeah, Seattle. I don't know, man. They mess around. You already got San Fran in that division, and you got the Rams look like they're on a resurgence tour. So
The Rams. Sleep on the
yeah,
Rams.
they got Cooper Cup back. Yeah, we'll talk about that another time. But they have another team in their division that may cost them a playoff spot if they don't get right. So good win for Cincinnati. The way that the rest of the division is playing, hell, they might be in first place next week.
Hush your mouth.
Who knows?
Wow. D-Dub, your thoughts, Cincinnati and
Cincinnati's defense. It was defense defense day yesterday because Cincinnati's defense was incredible down the stretch. Seattle, the Seahawks was driving, and Smith got sacked by Sam Hubbard. I think it was a 4th and goal.
mm-hmm.
Bengals, on the 6th. So I mean, Seattle they didn't look good to me yesterday. As I was watching Red Zone, and the games was rotating in and out, but they did not look well at all. What do you got? Geno Smith, 27-41, 323, 2 interceptions. That's not going to help you out. But Seahawks got a lot to work on. But don't look now. But Cincinnati about to look like they're about to go on a roll. This is what happened to them. Last year or the year before? Last year. And if Burrow is he's getting himself together and getting healthy.
They went on a 9-game winning streak.
They did.
Yep.
After they dropped 3? I think 3 in a row or something to that effect. But yeah, look out. Again, Cincinnati, Cleveland. All them guys, Pittsburgh, all them guys are going to beat the hell out of each other. Ravens, all of them going to beat the hell out of each other. So, it's going to be the last one standing. So,
yep,
it's going to be very interesting as it go down the stretch. But Seattle's still 3-2 in the division. So, that's all I got.
That's all you got. Thank you, sir. Thank you. We'll go on to our next game here. Washington, the Commanders facing the Atlanta Falcons. They went on down to
Bro, take the bass out your voice, man. Come on, stop.
The Commanders are 3-3. Atlanta is 3-3. This game right here, is Ritter the quarterback for Atlanta? I just want to ask.
Yes, he is. But he's
Is he
trash.
that guy?
Yeah, he is because they ain't got nobody else.
They got nobody else. And that man, it's my default. Eric, that man yesterday looked awful yesterday. I don't know what. I mean, he had 2 opportunities down the stretch to win this game, to get Atlanta in the end zone, to put some points on the board, and the man, they couldn't do it. I'm like, what is going on? And not to mention, and Atlanta's play calling was atrocious to me, as far as I'm concerned. But
that's what I'm saying. These coaches putting these young quarterbacks, in a position to win. And Ritter was 28 of 47.
Way too much.
307 yards, 2 TDs, 3 interceptions, though, right? Did they try to run the ball? Aguirre, he was 13 of 53. Robinson was 13 of 37. Ritter, he ran the ball twice. So they attempted to run the ball, right? 26 times. But shout out to Washington. Shout out to the Commanders. They did their thing on the offensive side. Howell was 14-23, 3 TDs. He did not turn the ball over. And Washington bounced back from that ugly loss they had against the Bears. I don't know. Well, I'll give it to E. Your thoughts on your former team, the Washington.
I don't even have any thoughts, to be honest with you. This game was
trash.
Yo, man, I guess shout out to the Washington defense, man, because like offensively, they didn't do much. I mean, dink and dunk. I mean, they didn't turn the ball over. That's about it, man.
Kudos
Name
to
of the
that.
game, right?
Yeah, I mean, I say that because of what I said prior about Washington and Eric Bieniemy, how the offense will be looking good. I don't understand. Atlanta's defense is not that good, so I don't understand why your offense look like this. But it is what it is, man. It's a game of football, right? Every week is something different, I guess. Ritter, dog, you threw the ball away to the other team 3 times, dog. I don't care how many yards. I don't care if you threw 500 yards. It diminishes everything, especially when you are trying to win the game, and time again, you look like you are lost in the shuffle. But again, this is their quarterback by default.
Quarterback.
Don't know why they ain't run the ball more. He's supposed to have this. Robinson's supposed to be rookie of the year, right? That's what I heard. Offensive player of the year, rookie of the year. Yeah, okay. Not with 13 carries, not going to get it done.
Sure.
But yo, man, shout out to Washington, man. Defense showed up, and
Yeah. Washington's 3-3 in the NFC East. Atlanta is 3-3 in the NFC South, where New Orleans is the cream of the crop. And I say that
They trash too.
yes, please say that.
I say that. I say that with all earnest.
So that crop is not.
That division is as bad as we thought they was going to be.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's going to be Victor by default.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
They'll be 7-10 coming out that division. Winning that division.
But my question is, like I didn't see any of this game, obviously, and just like we say, sometimes stats don't tell the real story.
No,
but this game, I can kind of guess what happened. Is Atlanta turned this ball over on their side of the field a couple times,
right in the end zone.
Because Howell was pedestrian, 14 to 23, 151 yards, but he threw 3 touchdowns. They really didn't run the ball that great. They had 31 yards, 23 yards, 15 yards. I mean, so they didn't have to go far to score, it looks like. So, and this is something that I always bitch about is like when you bring in like Bryce Young, Desmond Ritter, and some of these other guys, first-year quarterbacks, and you throw them to the Wolves, like just ask Cleveland how to kill a quarterback quicker. You bring them in, and you got to let them learn the game, learn the speed, and I think the kid's a good quarterback, but he's going to need time to get good and learn the game. So, yes, he had kind of a poor game with the turnovers, but there's some bright lights to it that he's throwing for good yardage, and he did throw for 2 touchdowns. But like he said, this Robinson cat's supposed to be. I've watched him play against Carolina and a couple other games, and he's a good running back. You got to feed him. Apparently they had to have gotten down early and bad because it looks like they just abandoned the run.
Well, I'll say this to jump back on your quarterback. What you were saying about quarterbacks. We've been saying this for the longest. Eric was shaking his head. Quarterback killers, and Eric can go back in history. Eric should have like a just do a standalone show of
just do the Cleveland Browns from when they had Kozar. Make your research easy.
Yeah,
it's a fact.
Yeah. Brady Quinn,
Manziel. I mean,
well, Manziel pissed his away.
Yeah, but I mean,
he kind of
they go through.
Huh? I'm sorry.
I mean, how many they go through? 5.
Yeah, they went through a lot.
Too many.
A lot of teams. Who you say?
No, I said too many.
Yeah, too many. But we talk about this all the time. How quarterbacks go to specific teams, and unfortunately, they are thrown to the wolves. And I might sound old school when I said that. What happened to developing the quarterback, letting him sit for a year and just learn? Just
the money. The money is happening.
Yeah, the pay it happens. But here's my favorite thing, and I don't know if Lackey's in the neighborhood, but Carolina I looked last night what they gave up to get Bryce Young.
A lot.
Now,
Everything.
granted, their line was ass the year before.
Mm.
They really didn't do anything significant to make it any better. But they gave up a first rounder. They gave up DJ Moore. They gave up a second rounder, and I think another first and another second, and like 24 and 25, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the kicker: they're fucking 0-6. Guess what? They're getting the first pick. No, they're not, because it's going to the Bears.
Oh well.
Jay's about to have the first and second pick.
And so now you gave up all those picks when you could have stuck with what you had, and possibly drafted a couple linemen to prepare, and then used this year's pick coming up to get your quarterback.
Well, the smart thing to do, and I know we're going a little bit off because we got one more game, and that's fine. You're supposed to build the team, my opinion, and I could be wrong. Well, within, right? You're supposed to win, supposed to build the team from
Alignment?
within, right? Offensive line, and then go out, right?
Same with
But
defense.
apparently, that's right. Apparently, that's no go no more, and we don't develop quarterbacks. We just throw him to the things, and he loses confidence. He get killed. Look at Sam Darnold.
That's why the game is trash,
Yeah.
bro. I mean, we keep on talking. Yo, I'm gonna keep saying it, man. Y'all prove me. Y'all tell me something else otherwise than what I'm seeing. I'll wait. Anybody?
Everybody, well, it's just like what I said about who set the market with these quarterbacks and these running backs. Well, who came up with the bright idea to throw the rookie quarterbacks into the mix and you just overpay at every other position and maybe we'll win? Okay, you still have to pay those other positions. So why don't you get you a serviceable quarterback unless you have a franchise quarterback? But the key word, like Kevin said, the key word is development, and a good 95% of these teams don't have a clue as to what that is.
It's not happening.
You get the first round pick. You ought to have a first round pick on coaching because you have none. That's the problem.
Yeah.
What's the point of keep on? Look at Cleveland. They had first round pick after first round pick, quarterback after quarterback. You go and get somebody else's quarterback and spend $250 million cash.
For him to
And what's their record? Right. And he's back on the table. Right. I'm done.
I mean, where's the lie? Ain't no cap in that, right?
And it's just amazing to me, man, because everybody you listen, you turn the TV on, you listen to these guys for a little bit, and they be like they're telling you that this thing is it's amazing. I'm like, what are y'all watching what am I watching that I don't feel the same way? But hey.
Well,
I'm gonna say this. I don't want to get in no trouble, but it's called you don't have the corporate lens as some of these guys do. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Oh, so now we got the CLs. Corporate lens.
Corporate lens.
I tell you, boy.
But
it's just way too much.
He is right. Right. There's no corporate lens over here. We see what we see, and bad quarterback play when you see bad. If you watch football for any good time, I'm not saying that you have to be primarily an X's and O's guys, because people will try to dismiss you on that, which I push back and say I've been watching football for 40-something years, man, and yeah, there's been some bad play. There's been some bad line play and all that stuff, and all of this is a cumulative thing that has made it. But hey,
and plus we've been spoiled because we have seen great quarterbacks over the decades, right? And then now we're looking at what we got now, and it's like that's not the same.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, because if you just look back, 10 years?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of these, your Rodgers, the Mannings, Ben,
Brady.
All these different quarterbacks. And now we're kind of going through that rotation where, it's been 10, 15 years, and they're all going to the wayside. So now everybody's struggling to find the next guy. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be...
It's going to be a minute.
Really, you got Mahomes.
That's it.
And that's
it.
Burrow stays healthy. He can compete with them.
He could, yeah.
But it's after that, man.
Where,
It's like
where did he?
That drop off is that cliff drops quickly.
Oh no, yeah. Oh no, there's a bunch of
hey,
slander here. Let me go to
we
this
got a
next
lot of
game.
$200 million quarterbacks, but we don't really have any good ones.
Hey, bro, I'm just telling you, there's people who do not like Deshaun Watson, bro. I mean, they like this is not it. I mean, I'm telling
Well,
you,
are they
not for that
saying that
type of
because of
money.
the? Are they saying that because of the incident, or are they
Nah,
saying it
it's not. I
because?
don't think it has anything to
I
do with
say
the
it's because
incident.
his contract is fully guaranteed. That's it.
Yes, and that's
Yeah,
He
part of the
fucked up the
reason, and
system.
he's not
So
producing what
he's
that
not
contract
playing.
is saying. Exactly, Dan. But again, if you don't produce, you get that type of contract, and your numbers don't match up to that contract, bro. That's all I'm saying. I don't care what you're talking about, but when you get a big contract and them numbers don't match up, your production level don't match up to that contract, people gonna have a problem with you.
well, let's talk about contracts and not matching up with our next game on the dossier.
Mike's got to go.
What a
The
segue,
Giants and the Bills. Woo.
go ahead, Mikey, go ahead, go in,
Okay, go
because
ahead,
I'm
Mikey.
with you. I'm with you.
Go ahead, Mikey.
Well, the Giants won this close one. I mean, the Giants lost this close one to the Bills on the last minute, no call or call, whatever you want to say,
Yeah,
against
Bills did.
against the Bills. And I mean, the offense looked, and I mean, they did the best they could considering the situation, having a
What's the
backup out
situation,
there.
Mike?
I
Tell me
mean,
this.
Tyrod.
Tell me the
nah,
situation.
the starting quarterback being out, the O line being in shambles, but
The O
Tyrod
line.
did the best.
Wait a minute, Mike. I'm sorry. I'm being the moderator right now. Tell us about that O line and the shambles, please, because I don't want to even talk
The
about this game. Yeah.
shambles. Put the O line is in shambles. They couldn't stop a leaky faucet with a wrench. They couldn't do anything. They are terrible. But Tyrod was getting the ball out quick and doing what he could to get down the field. And he tried. And he almost won the game too. Now, if Daniel Jones did just a little bit of that, he would be all right. But he don't get that ball out quick. He like to look around and look like Eli in the third quarter. So that's what you get. And shout out to the Giants defense because they manned up and they really showing how fraudulent Buffalo is when Buffalo get punched in the mouth. See, the Jets showed everybody that the other week. And I've been saying that for how many years on this podcast now? That the
5.
Bills are
Five.
the only team
Five time.
that are not made to play in the weather that they actually live in. So, rest of you teams watching, you have to punch the Bills in the mouth because once they get punched in the mouth, Stephon Diggs start crying.
Yeah, he
Josh
definitely.
Allen start looking like Johnny Manziel. It starts falling apart.
That's a whole fact.
Punch the Bills in the mouth and you'll win against the Bills. But shout out to the Giants. They tried. Shout out to Brian Daboll. You know, he cooked up
Yeah,
what he cooked up considering what he had. And
yeah. It's definitely not his fault. I'm not blaming him at all. You know, personnel is just it is what it is. If you ain't got good personnel, great personnel, this is what you got. You
I
can only
just
cook
need
up
the
what you can
Giants
cook up.
O-line to have some dignity. I need the Giants O-line to drop their nuts and be men and realize,
Well,
like, yo, we are getting paid to do this. I need them to
Mike,
just, after a certain point, it's not about X's and O's, like Kevin just said.
Mike,
It's not about X's and
Mike,
O's.
Mike,
It's about being a man. I
Mike,
need
I
you
can't,
to man
I,
up
I
and
can't
hold
let
that
you do
block.
that. I can't let you do that because when we getting guys out the gas station, bro, we picked up Justin Pugh and he was on the couch. I don't know what I mean. We
He
don't.
said
These
it. He
guys,
said it.
these guys are hurt, man. These guys, we have a training and conditioning problem
A
on this New
triage.
York Giant team, and these guys are getting hurt. They're hurt all the time. We can never have any consistency. Tell me when I'm lying. Somebody.
Well, I agree with you as a Giants fan. Mike, thank you for stealing the moderator job there for a few minutes. You did a great job, by the way. Good job for setting us up. As a fan, I watched last night, of course, and that that play at the half was just mind-boggling me. You got to get if you Giants get a field goal, they win the game. That was
Absolutely.
just I don't know what went the communication between Taylor and the coach, but you got to come away with something. and then to run the ball, you can't run the ball. The only time you'll have time in football, if you run the ball, is in Madden, where you can call timeout right away by hitting the pad button.
Yeah,
Well, they
That's
didn't have
about it. There would have been 1 second left if this was Madden.
yeah, yeah.
You
We
like
didn't
punching me
have,
back. All right,
we didn't have no timeouts in that situation because we couldn't stop the clock.
Yeah,
So
and
in that case, you either had to throw the balls and either throw it out of bounds where you could have another chance at it.
Right.
They didn't do that. That part is either coaching and players not on the same page. I don't know, but it's a problem. And
I'll
that's all I
say
got.
this: like I caught this play. Well, I was watching this game, and it almost looked like the offensive coordinator called a play that looked to be a pass with the option
The
for
option to run. Yeah.
option to run, and by the reaction of Dabold when they ran the ball, he absolutely gave the death stare to the offensive coordinator. Like,
He was
what the fuck
was
was
pissed.
that?
He was
And,
pissed.
and I think Tyrod thought the way they were lined up, they had everybody blocked, and the guy was going to walk in. The problem was he didn't get to the edge in time and got drugged down.
Yep.
And like Kevin said, that play haunted them after that. But you got to give Giants credit. With all things considered, shitty on
Word.
line, hurt, Tyrod doing the best he can. Like, dude went 24 for 36, 200 yards, didn't turn the ball over. He
Nope.
gave his team a chance to win.
Word.
So you guys.
Saquon looked good coming back, 24 rushes, 93 yards, broke a 34-yarder. He did good. The defense played as well as it could possibly play to shut him down. I mean, Josh Allen was pedestrian in this game, 19-30 for 169, 2 TDs and an interception. Cook really didn't go off. He had 71 yards. But, it's, a lot of these teams that we talk about that are struggling, the Jets, the Steelers, and, the Giants, it all comes down to the same formula, what we talked about, building from within and out, that the offensive line is suspect on all these teams. And whenever one of these teams figures it out or, get somebody in there that can actually produce, the future is going to be bright. But, will Carolina win a game this year with that offensive line?
No, they might go 0-17, bro. Way it's looking.
Hey,
Yeah,
hold
I mean-
one more before we get off the Giants. And I'm sorry, Dan. The
No, you're good.
The Giants again did not score an offensive touchdown for the third consecutive game. This is a problem. That's all I got to say.
Do you want to fire your offense coordinator too?
we it's just a issue, man. This is a
No,
this
no,
is
we're
a
in the same
this,
boat. That's why I say that.
huh?
Oh,
I
yeah.
said,
Canada.
Oh, y'all
We're-
didn't say. Oh yeah, what's your man? Canada,
Matt Canada.
Yeah, with the hockey
bro.
game.
It's so frustrating.
Chanting that shit.
Yeah, the city of Pittsburgh really can't stand Matt Canada at the Penguins game last week. I forgot who they was playing. They was chanting "Fire Matt Canada." I thought that was hilarious. I sent it to Dan. He's like, "You can see it's the Steelers town for sure. Get rid of his ass."
Bro, it's so frustrating, man. I mean, you got 5 trips to the red zone and you can only get 9 points. Come
Yeah.
on, dog.
Well,
I
that's
will
going to
say,
come back. Go ahead,
at the
Mike.
end of the game, man, like they had like 10 seconds left. Tyrod scrambles, get out of bounds, stop the clock. Then they get the little penalty. So then they got one more shot at the end zone, man. And it was crazy to me because I'm looking at it and it was like the field when the play they got the penalty, it's like the field opened up. Like he could have scrambled one more time and won the game. But then he threw that shit to Waller. And then I'm like, oh my God, why would you throw that ball? And then the
But how's
last
that
play.
a penalty? Not a penalty.
Right. And then the last play, they do it again. And I'm like, no, the first one I think was a penalty. The pass interference was clear. But that last one when people wanted
The last
to call,
one.
that wasn't a penalty. That wasn't a penalty. That was within the amount of yards you get. I just feel like he
Either
shouldn't
way.
do that ball, man. He had other options. He just
Yeah, I think he was a little gun shy from the first half. He
Yeah.
probably got an earful when he got to the locker room, and he's like, "Nope, not running. I don't care how much open ground. I'm not running."
Either way, I just think that I never felt that the Giants was going to win this game. And then when they got the penalty, had a couple of Giant fans talked about said, bro, we didn't win. We deserve to win. That first half red zone thing really disturbed me. And I was like, you know what? We don't deserve to win this game. So yes, the Bills are still on fraud alert. They still on fraud alert. I'm with Mikey on that. Michael on that. Once you punch them in their face and they don't play like a team that plays outside in the Northeast, they could be had again. So, and I think the Dolphins will probably win the division the way how they dismantled Carolina on yesterday, and Frank Wright fired himself, and now he'll be calling. Somebody else will be calling the plays, the offensive plays. So, but they got a whole lot of problems with Carolina. So, shout out to all those Carolina Panther fans. You're on the same boat as us, so we got to win. So, well, hey, this is fourth and short for a reason, even though we've gone 51 minutes. Fourth and long, yeah.
AF.
Time to punt.
AF.
Time to punt. Let's go.
Hey, make sure you get back at us at Thursday at 7:30. We're gonna be talking some baseball. D-Dub got on his Texas hat. The Rangers handle business. They were up 2-0 in the series against the Astros, but the Astros are not done. Nobody can kill the Astros. Looks like the Astros will probably come back and win that series.
Yeah, they're gonna have a trash cans for this game, for the next game.
Yep, be dressed as sanitary workers. Hey, don't forget to put your Philly hat on later.
Hazmat suits and all.
It's in the mail.
Oh, it's in the mail. Oh, okay. You don't even go to Lids no more. You just
It's in the mail.
Yankees stay home for the playoffs and he get new hats. All right.
Oh god,
Mike, this guy I told last week he literally stops at Lids on his way home and gets a hat.
Oh, Yankees lost. Oh, let me get another hat.
Yeah.
Whoever's win the series.
I'm just gonna say that I've had this hat all season. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, yeah, we know the
We ain't talking about you.
No, we ain't talking about you. We know how y'all dismantled the Dodgers, and I talked about that last week, how the Dodgers or whatnot. But hey, this is fourth for sure. This is NFL football. Make sure you join us at 7:30 on Thursdays. Also for college football, the Gridiron Rundown College Edition. Make sure you holler at us on Sunday mornings. We'll run down the best games on Saturday, man. So on behalf of myself, Kevin Owan, your host and moderator, for Mike Mills, for Dan, shout out to Pitt for beating down Louisville the other night. We shouted you out the other day, sir. So good job on Louisville. To Dan, to the angry one, to D-Dub with all his hats. And you might need to get Lids a sponsor for him alone.
New era.
There you go. There you go.
Hats. And for DA and his absence, man, I'm Kevin Owen, your host and moderator. Hey, meet us back here on Thursday for our standalone episode 1. What is it? Episode 192.
Two.
No, 192. Well, okay. 192. Hey, meet us there. Have a blessed week. See y'all Thursday. Be good. Peace.